Hey guys, it's Rich from BilletSPIN here with our next video. I really appreciate you guys tagging along. What you're looking at here is a sum of the last couple days of my time beating my head against the wall, trying to come up with our next design. You know, a lot of you know that I came back from Atlanta from the Blade Show after making our contest top, which we did end up winning, by the way. Real proud of that. But the purpose of this top was to apply the knowledge that I learned from making that long spinning top, and I thought, what better challenge than to do it in a one-piece top? And the goal here was to make an EDC top, a top that you could carry along with you. For those of you not familiar with EDC, it's everyday carry, things that you could carry along with you in your pocket, or if you have a little top holder, that you could just enjoy throughout your day everywhere you go. That top needs to be extremely durable, just something that can take a real pounding, and so a one-piece top is really, really good for that. But what's not good for a one-piece top is the fact that it's all the same material throughout. And so a two-piece top would be the ideal, not for EDC, not for that part of it in my opinion, but for the spinning, because you can use a light core and a heavy outer collar like we did with the spin contest top. But I wanted to do this in a one-piece top, something that I can offer to we have had so many new people in the group, which I'm so excited about, but I wanted to offer those people a top, something just to make sure that they're into this hobby, into this hobby before they start investing a lot of money. So I wanted to make something affordable that they could carry along with them, that was really, really easy to spin. And so yeah, this was quite a challenge, because doing that with one piece of material is a very difficult thing to do. This is the final version, and this is what we're going to be selling here probably next week. But this isn't really about that. It's about the what I learned in the making of this process, and how we came up with this finished product. So let me just show you, back this thing out a little bit here. This is just some of the prototypes that I had. These are the only prototypes that I actually finished all the way. Some of them I didn't put the ball in the back. For those of you that don't know what that ball is for back there, it's for spinning the top upside down, and I guess I need to do a video on that. I'm not set up with a camera in my way and stuff, and I need a lot of room. When you spin upside down, can be quite a violent thing, but it's a blast. Watching a top spin upside down is really, really cool. They don't spin quite as long that way, but it's quite a trip. And that's what I wanted, was something that you could really enjoy, that you could kind of just beat the crap out of and really enjoy. So, what was the goal? EDC top, very easy spinning, you know, very affordable. And that's something that's spun for quite a long time. I'm not going to call this a long spinner, because making it out of one piece, it's just really, really hard to get a long spinner. And for those of you that don't know, I have mentioned this before, any top that spins over 10 minutes I would classify as a long spinner. And we'll get into the spin time a little later. So in order to accomplish what I wanted, I knew the first thing, this thing needed to have a lot of clearance from here to here, okay, from the ball to the resting surface. What that does is, when the top is at rest, the stem is at a big angle. And what that does is it allows people who are newer, or maybe don't have a great spin technique, to be able to launch the top. You can see you can launch this top at a big angle. That top, my finger out of the way, that's a big angle there. Not quite rotor clearance, but close. So you could have a bad spin like that, and it wouldn't catch the edge. What catching edge is when you drop it and actually catches the edge, and it just shoots the thing and starts breakdancing. So I wanted to have a lot of clearance there, so that basically any spin would work. You know, it wouldn't bottom out on the edge. And the problem with doing that is that you raise the center of gravity. When you raise the center of gravity, it makes the top more prone to hula like this, and that's the circular motion. So it's a real problem to make the top. You know, it's kind of counterintuitive for what I wanted. You know, this should be lower the center of gravity. The problem is then it's not easy to spin. So I was kind of fighting that balance of making it easy to spin, getting this high clearance, but getting the center of gravity still as low as I could. so that the top would stabilize. What happens with some high clearance tops that you have to be really, really careful of is that when it hulas, it can actually get worse and worse and worse until the edge catches. That's not good. Well, I shouldn't say it's not good. If that's what you want, then it's perfect, but that's not what I was going for here. Like I said, I wanted a new person who, when he has a bad spin, look at that one, that's hilarious. When you have a bad spin where it's still going to be good. So on this top, I could spin this top probably 50 times, and all 50 of them will end up stabilizing in the middle. Even on a horrible spin, the spin will still finish without catching the edge until it's done rotating and tips over. So anyway, that was what the focus was, and boy, what a pain in the butt. I'm going to tell you. You can look at these. I tried all different stem lengths, stem diameters. I tried all different weights. I tried different grips. I tried different grip diameters. You can see it's just here. You got, just a couple different stem lengths here, quite drastic. I played around with collar thicknesses, collar weights. It was crazy, the different changes, how it would affect the spin, how fast it would stabilize. What I mean by how fast it stabilizes is how long does it take from your initial spin to where it centers itself and stops moving around, okay? And so that was big because I didn't want this one to just keep hula hooping the whole spin. I was really trying to get this one to stabilize. And changes, some of these wouldn't do it. There was one of them that would hula, it would start out hula hooping and it would get worse and worse and worse until it caught an edge. And I made a little change and it wouldn't do that. And it was crazy to me. Grip diameter. Let me tell you a little bit about grip diameter. I had one that I changed. I spun it. I was on prototype like 6 probably, and I spun it, and I'm talking about the diameter here, and I got 9 minutes and 50 seconds. I got 9 minutes and 50 seconds. And then I changed the grip diameter by 10 thousandths, so basically a human hair on each side. And I got an extra minute out of it. So I went smaller. I kept going. I made it was bigger, and I went smaller. Then I went smaller again, and it went back down to where it was. So I got the distance there, or the diameter there, perfect. Another thing that I did and I'll just skip right to the good part. On the finished top, the thickness of this collar, I changed it by 20 thousandths, and I went from just under 10 minutes to just under 12 minutes. I added 2 minutes. I added 2 grams to the top, and I added 20 thousandths, and the weight came from adding the 20 thousandths, 10 on each side here. And I'd added 2 minutes onto the spin time, and consistently. That's key word, consistently. So anyway, yeah, man, the amount of playing around that I did here was just yeah, it was a whole different thing than what I'm used to, I can tell you. You can see some of the different ends that I put on, trying, and I was focused on getting it right, the spin the way I wanted it, and then I wanted to try to make it beautiful. And yeah, it was so much work doing this, but I think I'm really, really, well, I don't think I know. I'm very happy with the results. I did exactly what I set out to do, and that is to give you a top that is just very easy to spin. That's affordable and something that you can carry around and just have a blast with. So I want to talk about one last thing before we go here. Something that some people might not agree with me. I just want to share my opinions on this. Tops to me, and the making of tops to me personally, is art. And I don't ever want to get away from that. I don't make tops as a commodity item. I make tops as art. So what does that mean to me personally? And again, you're going to get different varying views. We all collect for different reasons. But for me personally, it's about spin quality. I like to have my top spin smooth. That's important to me. It might not be to other people, but it is to me. And the second thing is the design. You know, I put a lot of time into things. I want it to look good. I just want it to look good. So, you know, those two they go hand in hand for me. The spin quality and the design and how the top looks. And then there's a huge gap down to, you know, the next thing, and that would be spin time. But I don't really care about spin time. I mean, I know some of you do, and I'm trying to accommodate, but, you know, what I normally do in my office is I'll spin them. I'll kind of watch them for a while, doze off, you know, come back, and then I'll kind of get back to work, whatever. I don't really care about the spin time, and what I found is that new people seem to really, you know, overemphasize spin time, and that's okay. Hey, we all got our different preferences. If that's what you're after, if spin time is your thing, I mean, yeah, I have made tops. I made a top that Brian Key spun for almost 26 minutes, so I have made long spinners. But there are other makers out there for you that you might enjoy more than me, because that's just not high on the priority list. So I'm treading a dangerous line here with this top, because I'm really trying to go after more performance. But the reason I'm doing it is that if I give somebody a, you know, more of an artsy top that's a little harder to spin, and they're new at it and they don't have great spin technique, they could get frustrated and they wouldn't enjoy the hobby. So I wanted to provide a top here that's just easy to spin, that anybody can spin. And folks, I'm telling you, for a one-piece top, this is as easy as it gets. I can't do, well, I don't know, I spent a couple days on this one, and it's easy to spin. I mean, this thing is crazy easy to spin. So anyway, that was the purpose of this top. Don't expect a lot of this stuff from me in the future, because again, I want to keep this focused on art and not necessarily performance and that. So anyway, the top is you know, wonderfully stable. It spins really, really good. We'll be offering these things probably next week. I'll have another video once we get the top named, and I'll show you the different material choices and all that. But anyway, that's kind of what I've gone through the last 2 days. You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. You always know where I'm at. And you guys are like family, so I just wanted to kind of share. It's been a frustrating couple of days. It's had its highs and lows. When I thought I was close, I'd make a tweak, and then the whole thing, I lost everything. And so it was really hard to get this, harder than what I thought, but well worth the time. I'm real happy I did it. So anyways, there it is. You'll be hearing more details on the Facebook group. Love all you guys. Have a wonderful day.